My wife and I purchased this piece of land 7 years ago. When we looked at it the first time with the real estate agent, it was really grown up. Street trees everywhere, and weeds as tall as the truck. That's one of the reasons why we could afford to buy it. When we drove up on this ridge, I thought this is where our house really needed to be, and I fell in love with the property. We're just now finishing up the house. There's many positives from living so far away from the neighbors. One of the negatives is how long our driveway is. My parents have a really long driveway as well. So about 4 years ago, we bought this road boss together. There's land planes from other manufacturers that cost less. This thing sure is beefy. The company dropped it off at my parents' house. We hooked it up for a demonstration, and as soon as we took off with it, my dad said, "We're getting that." I've never used a tractor with a quick hitch, but I really don't see what the problem is with using just a regular 3-point hitch. Using this thing is not really much of a problem. And with something like this Road Boss, you get a more direct connection to the tractor. We have a 3-bottom moldboard, a chisel plow, and a 16-foot disc. And this Road Boss puts more strain on the tractor than all the other 3. This 8-foot land plane is definitely the hardest pulling implement we have. And it's really about the only time I wish we had a 4-wheel drive tractor. If Road Boss wanted to sponsor this video, I'd definitely take their money. However, they're not, but I still highly recommend the implement. The implement needs to be adjusted where the back is slightly higher than the front. The ground's pretty level here, so I'm doing the initial adjustment by changing the center length of the 3-point hitch. Here's what the road looks like before I do the grading. It's pretty rough, there's a lot of potholes, and some fairly deep ruts are starting to form. We live on what's mostly blackland clay, and when it's really wet, just about anything will get stuck in it. People from other parts of the country talk about removing the topsoil when you make a road bed, but since this blackland clay is like 40 feet deep, there's no removing it all. So you just have to do enough road maintenance so any ruts don't break through the road material. Here's an overview of the construction of my land plane. Here you can see some replaceable skid plates that are bolt-on. After 4 years of use, it really doesn't show much wear. The front blade has this tooth configuration, so it digs into the gravel pretty good. And the rear blade is smooth, so you get a more smooth road. You can also see that both blades are slanted towards the right-hand side. These bolts are so you can lower the blades when they start to wear out, but I haven't yet had to move them. You might see that this tractor shows 205 hours. That's because I had to replace the dash at about the 1800 hour point. The land plane needs to be run at about the fastest speed you can get the tractor to go without the tire spinning. On this tractor, that's in B3, which according to the chart is about 8 miles an hour. Road maintenance takes several passes. The first pass really just breaks down the high spot in the middle, and the more grass and weeds you have in the middle of the road, the harder the land plane has to work to get this middle knocked down. In this first pass, there's just a little bit of rocks bouncing around in between the blades, and nothing really coming over the top. My initial adjustment was a little bit off, so I've got to lengthen the center link to lower the back of the Road Boss. And I'm back to moving again. Here you can see that I've done a first pass over this, and the center has been broken down a little bit, but the ruts where the tires go over hasn't been touched yet. You can see in this shot that more material is starting to build up on that first blade. Now I'm on my third pass, and we're starting to see some results. You can see in this shot that more material is building up inside the land plane, and it's actually rolling over that back blade. But there's still low spots that need to be filled in, some high spots that need to be knocked down. It's a little bit of a challenge to fly a drone at the same time you're driving a tractor. No, we did not have an alien abduction at our place. I let a friend of one of my daughters try out her Jeep in the mud right after it rained. And she was having a little bit of fun, cutting some donuts. Now I'm on the 4th pass, and the road is finally starting to look good. It's a little bit dusty, but you can't do this kind of work when the ground is wet. And here you can see on this 4th pass that the road base is really piling up. It's going over the back of the blades, filling in any holes, and almost all the high spots are knocked down. This is what the inside of the land plane looks like when you've made enough passes. At least for this tractor, if you made any more passes, it would pile up too much, and then the tractor would start spinning its wheels. Alright, so road maintenance is done. Should be good for another 6 months. I'll probably hit it again in June when all the spring rains stop. And at least in this part of Texas, it doesn't rain for another 3 months after that. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Please comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Take care. God bless. Goodbye.